Hey, welcome to Sis Stop Sulkin Podcast, a space that helps you to shift your mindset, achieve your life goals, and increase your self-love. My name is Miss Tasha Talks Life, and today's episode, we have my sister from another Mrs. We go way back, but I've been trying to get her in this chair for a while, so she's finally here. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
So introduce yourself, Andrea. What do you do?
So I am, by day, I'm the senior manager for learning and organizational development for a major music company. And in addition to that, full time, I am the president and founder of Level Up Coaching and Consulting, which provides both individuals and organizations one-on-one and group executive coaching, as well as professional and personal development training.
Ooh, okay, so.
Yes, let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it. First of all, you're so dope. You're doing big things around here. I'm so proud of you because I'm the big sis, so I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I love everything that you're doing, so kudos for that.
Thank you.
So your day job, can you tell us a little bit about that? What is exactly?
So half of my role is spent designing and facilitating professional development workshops for the organization, specifically for the North American offices. And those topics can range from mastering tough conversations, building change agility, giving and providing meaningful feedback. So all of those soft skills that professionals across every level of their career really need to, one, develop strong interpersonal relationships, but then also thrive and be successful in their roles. That's what I do there. And then on the other side, the organizational development side, that focuses on all things related to employee engagement surveys, high potential employee selection processes, performance review conversations, and making sure that those practices within the organization are fair and equitable, that they're very inclusive in nature, and ultimately making sure that we're holding our leaders accountable to have those conversations and support the career advancement of their team members.
That sounds like a lot. Is it a lot?
I'd be tired. I'd be tired every day. Every day.
I'm sitting here like, whoa, like, is that a one-man job, like a one-woman job?
Yeah, so I am the only person on our team at the company who sits in a dual reporting role that focuses on both sides. So while both of my VPs both report up to the same senior vice president, I have two vice presidents that are based in the UK, and I'm the only person that sits across the two functions within our team. So it's pretty cool. I love it. I think it was the perfect evolution going from working in diversity, equity, and inclusion to now being in a position that actually designs processes for the workforce, and I've been loving it.
I love that you just said it because I was going to go to that.
We're going to go there. We are going there today. I'm ready.
Because I think that there's a lot to it that people don't understand and don't know. Because even for me, like, I'm like researching stuff that's like coming up, and I'm like, whoa, let me educate myself on that. And so, can we go back to the DEI job? I know when you transitioned from there to there. What was the role or the difference in that to this?
Yeah, so, I worked in diversity, equity, and inclusion since 2017. So I always say it's pre-2020 DEI because it's very different. Ultimately, the hope was to upskill or reskill people to be proficient in different competencies, to really understand how do you apply these ideas and these concepts when you're doing organizational strategic planning. So I had been doing that work for a really long time, loved it, it was really cool. And then fast forward, things started to shift politically, even before the current, political climate. A lot of organizations started to shift back into models where DEI sat under HR, which in some instances it makes sense, for others it doesn't. And so designing diversity and inclusion targeted and specific learning programs, mentoring programs, things like that, to lock in on those historically marginalized communities within organizations that maybe don't get that access to different development programs, or maybe their leaders just aren't considering. So the transition for me was, of course, very seamless because I had already been doing that work. I think now the beauty of it is that, working in a team and in a position where I am designing things from the ground up. I'm challenging the decision makers in a way that my role was designed to do. And I think that, it's interesting because to be able to see progress in the way that I see it now is so different because now I'm working on the team that makes that final decision.
Right,
you know,
right.
so
That's kinda cool.
it's been cool. I feel like it was definitely a great next step and a next move for me at the company that I'm at.
Yeah, so okay, so you train the trainers or you go in and train the masses?
I train the masses. So in my full-time role at the music company, so I'm training people who work at the music company
Okay.
with us, and then through the LLC, companies hire me to go in. It could vary. So I've done train the trainers, and I've also done the facilitating or the keynote speaking for different events that they've had.
Nice, nice. Okay, so we're talking, when you say LLC, you're talking about your company,
We talking
Level Up.
We talking about Level
Yes,
Up. We talking
I
about
love
Level
it.
Up.
All right, so let's talk about Level Up, because I know you have experience there. But what was the moment where you was like, I can do this for myself?
So at the time, so I'm in my 14th year of working in corporate America in HR. 2 years ago, coming up on the 2-year anniversary of when I launched, it was a matter of having conversations with people at the different companies that I worked at and hearing the same thing. And that same thing being their experience of, I want to participate in these programs, but my manager or my supervisor, they're not doing my letter of recommendation, they're not sponsoring me. Or for a lot of companies, executive coaching can be pretty expensive, especially when you have so many people out here selling to corporations. And unfortunately, a lot of companies are only investing in executive coaching for those who sit at the C-suite level. So after hearing this from so many different people, and particularly people who look like you and me, that light bulb went off, and I was like, I want to be able to offer this type of professional development support to people who don't traditionally get it through their employers. And then on top of that, it's funny because I had never had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've been working in corporate America, and regardless of what people say about it, I have loved it. I love waking up and having my routine. I love being able to have my benefits set and through,
Stability.
Exactly, the stability of it all. And to me, like, corporate politics is funny. So I've enjoyed working in that type of environment.
Person to say that.
It's like I'm just so used to it, and I think because I've moved around in so many different industries, so it's like I've done the wearing a full suit to work every single day and working in the healthcare environment, but then I've also worked in the staffing agency world. So I have clients that are warehouses and like more commercial businesses, and I've just really enjoyed it. And it wasn't until I did a coaching program and got my certification, and they had designated module all about designing your own coaching practice. And I was like, wait, so that's it? I could do that. Like, I could really do that. And I had already been using the hashtag AD leveled up for, it's crazy, like Facebook memories will really tell you about yourself. So I've been using this hashtag for like over 10 years. And it was like, okay, my prayer was, Lord, if this is the assignment, let it be harmonious to everything else I have going on in my life. And if at any point I feel stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, unsure, then pull me back and let's reset this.
That's it.
Let's
right
reset
there.
it. So
I love that. I love all of that, because that was kind of like the same thing for me when I got into coaching. It was just the same thing. It was like, I could do this. It was like, but my biggest issue was listening and identifying as the expert. Like, and I was, because and my friend said it's because you're humble, but I'm like, I've done, 15 years in education. I've done I've got certified, so it was kind of like, you can do this.
We can claim to be experts in the things that we're experts in.
Hello.
We can do that.
And it was just like, girl. Even when I noticed, like, my friends and people close to me coming to me for different things and stuff. So, so that resonates with me for sure,
Definitely.
And so walk me through a little bit about AD Level Up. Like, and do you do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I started off doing one-on-one coaching, and my coaching philosophy is rooted in the principle of you give a person a fish, they eat for a day, you teach them to fish, they eat for a lifetime. And the thing that made me really fall in love with the actual skill set of coaching was that so often when we're finding ourselves stuck or like navigating a challenge or having to make a big decision, we'll turn to friends, we'll turn to family, and everyone is just telling us what they think we should do based on their experiences, based on their fears and insecurities, right? Based on whatever resources that they may have access to. And the truth is that reality is not my reality. So when I went through the program and really learned that coaching is about asking those deeper questions and really feeding off of whatever information the potential client is giving to you, just seeing those moments of aha, or, right? You get it when you see those physical breakthrough experiences of our clients when they finally find that moment where it's like, everything just opens up, right? Like whatever that mental block or that creative block they were having to solve their challenge or navigate their situation is so fulfilling.
Yeah.
And I loved it because it's not about me, and sometimes while it's amazing when people, they recognize us and they celebrate us and all those things, but for me, I've just gotten to a point in life and in my career where it's like, I've navigated my challenges. I remember being in so many situations where I felt like it was impossible and I felt overwhelmed from the advice of everyone else. But to just have someone sit and talk me through it and allow for me to have that space to think and, say things out loud that maybe I'm afraid to say to myself, and then be able to come up with my own solution and then work my solution. And then on top of that, achieve my results. Like, that has just been the thing that I loved so much, specifically for the one-on-one coaching. As far as group coaching and group training, I've been doing that professionally for a very long time. And I love being a person who can leave a room or a group of people different than how I found them. And especially during times right now, for example, where so many organizations are restructuring, they're trying to figure out how do we still, manage this change, keep our workforce motivated and inspired to perform when there's so much uncertainty and ambiguity around what those changes will look like. Going into a room and having learners leave saying, I don't know if I will have this job in a month from now or in a year from now, but while I'm here, I'm still going to level up. I'm still going to perform. I'm still going to do a great job because that's my legacy that I'm leaving here.
Yeah.
That is all I can ask for.
I love that. I feel like for me, I teeter-totter between coaching and consulting. Because, I like to add, I'm an accountability coach. So it's strategy.
Yes.
And it's, think like taking it, so it's like, I ask the questions, I wait, but then it's like, I also have this that I think will work specifically for you. Are you open to trying it out? Are you open, and stuff. So I know they were like, coaches don't tell them what to do, but I be telling them what to do.
Because sometimes, especially I think, when you have a certain rapport with your client, and so you just know what their potential is, and because you also have seen evidence of them doing something. And I think, and it's so funny that you say that, right? Because same, like I'll be in conversations and I'll hear a client talking about something and just wanting to stay in that stuckness, and I'll ask them, with your permission, can I offer you something? With your permission, can I put my consulting hat on, my advisor hat on?
My hat stay. I'll be like, I'll put it on.
Because listen, it's right here, and I just want to pick it up real quick.
Is it okay?
Right. And in most cases, because we have that rapport with them, they're like, no, yes, like I actually want you to just tell me everything. And it's like, I can't tell you everything.
Because then you won't own it.
Right. But this thing right here, like, we only have about 20 minutes left, and I want you to get, I want to get whatever you're trying to get right now. So I completely understand.
I also, I prefer group over one-on-one mostly.
Okay.
Because I have, podcasting, speaking, all these other things. But I feel like group, there's an energy. There's an energy there that I love. I love to see, because if it's virtual, the nods, the universal nods, or the questions and stuff like that. But there is a place for one, because some people don't do well in group. They like, can I work with you? They hitting you on the side like, can we work one-on-one?
Right, what are you doing later? No, I feel that too, because even on Wednesday last week, I did a group session at my day job. And, it's funny because we literally just announced that we're getting ready to go through another wave of mass layoffs. And we were in the room and something came up for one person and they asked me, and I put it back to the entire group. And it's like, there's so much richness that comes, whenever I'm setting community norms at the top of any session, I'm always like, I may be your expert facilitator, but I'm not the only expert in the room. And so if you have something to offer your peers in this room or in this space, please offer it to them, and let's all take what we need to take out of this, including myself. And there's just so much power once that momentum gets going.
Because it's the brains that start attracting each other and rolling off each other, and then you have an idea, and I just love that. So beautiful. We did not do the icebreaker, which we're going to do it eventually. But I wanted to just touch on what is your thoughts about the rollback on DEI? I'm still not going to Target. Can I even say that in right now? But go ahead.
So I think that there are two different spectrums of responses to that, right? I think there are people who are extremely locked in on the conversation of the rollbacks, and then there are people who are, while you all are having all the conversations, we're playing chess and infiltrating processes, and we're infiltrating policies. And while you all are distracted by the acronym, whether the I is in front of the E or the D is after the B for belonging, we are over here writing out new workbooks and toolkits, and we're redesigning the learning curriculum for the entire organization, so that way when your folks are coming into the room, they don't even realize they're learning DEI per se, because we're embedding it so deeply into some of these other topics.
Right.
So I think, there was certainly a time and place for that intentional conversation to happen. But like everything, right? Like everything happens in ebbs and flow. There was a time to have that conversation, and then there's a time to really just put your head down and focus on the work. And I think when this is why I always say, like, I was doing DEI before 2020, because those George Floyd DEI practitioners that popped up made it so commercialized, not all, but many, right? Like many people made it such a commercialized skill set and topic that it was really about performative work, and it wasn't about like transformational change at the core of companies, right? Like I'm talking pay gap analysis, I'm talking job architecture, and making sure that people are leveled appropriately and fairly across the business, so that if me, a millennial Black woman, wants to get promoted in another region, I can clearly see where that next step in another region is for myself. So, that's how I feel about just like the corporate conversation around it. Politically, of course, it's different, because every industry is affected by whatever policies come out within their state, federal government, right? So that conversation, I think, is one that will always be ongoing, especially because of what everybody president is out here saying and doing right now. God. But also, when it comes to, like you mentioned, the Target boycott, and it's funny because I certainly have not been to Target in, ever since myself.
Was that January?
Yeah.
I don't even feel any, like...
At all. We find alternatives.
I know my credit going to be jacked because they're going to close my car.
Listen.
But it'll bounce back.
It ebbs and flow. Like, it'll bounce back.
If you don't use it, I'm not using it.
Right. So. And, it's like, I feel like for things like that, we joke about how many different movies or documentaries or series come out that kind of like retell different perspectives of the same stories from our civil rights heroes, over time. But I love them because I think so often we forget. Like, we forget just how powerful our ancestors were. We forget the spirit that has been, like, ingrained in our bloodstreams. We forget that they did so much more with less.
Yeah,
it's like,
true.
It's crazy to think about how we have access to so much, and our ability to, like, right now, if we wanted to jump on a video chat with someone in Ghana, like, we probably could.
Yeah.
And yet it takes so much more for us to organize a boycott against a corporation or any type of sustainable and consistent and powerful movement that's going to drive a change.
That's big.
Like, it's so crazy when you really sit back and think about it,
Yeah, that is so spot on, because when you were saying that, I was thinking about the famous Montgomery boycott, right? Like, do they understand how these people, like,
all they said was, we walking to work.
And what was it, 3 years?
We walking to work. We are not getting on the bus.
And I still got friends that go into Target. Yes, you.
I'm not going to look. But them Facebook groups of the fashion and everything else, and I'll be like, hold on, where you get that from?
Right.
Will you get a hashtag TR? What?
Right. But it is, but I just feel like all I can control is me, right? And I'm not like, it's all fun jokes, whatever, but I do come at them though, when they be like, I'm like, what? I had a gift card. They know I'm like the police.
It's not my money.
Like, I had a gift card. I said, okay, you got to use the gift card.
And it's like,
it's already paid for.
In that same vein, right? It's like, we get it, because geographically sometimes Target is the only place where people can go get their paper goods and their medicine, and that's where their pharmacy is, or maybe even with Walmart, because let's be real, like, I learned about Walmart in grad school, and they're not it either with their employment practices. However, you know, if we have to choose between spending $5 on a 6-pack roll of paper towels versus $12 and then waiting 2 weeks to have it shipped from a company that is more aligned with values.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So.
But as for me and my, no.
as for me, as for we in our house,
for sure,
we will shop smart.
So with this show, we talk about mindset, we talk about self-love and all life goals and stuff like that. So I as a coach, I know there's some going into AD level up, right? What was some of the limiting beliefs or some things that kind of, because initially there's something that pops up because if it's a good idea, there's going to be something that's telling you to go another way because that's purpose, right? So what was some limiting beliefs you had to overcome?
Ooh, first of all, you said if it's a God idea, the chills. Oh, wow. Okay, so there were a lot. Like, I'm going to be so honest. And it's funny, you know, we show up with all this confidence, but little do people know the text messages 100%. We be sending back, back 100%. And forth. For me, it was one of those things where I went on LinkedIn and everybody was an executive coach. Like, everybody was an exec. And I'm like, okay, what is it that I'm going to say that's going to make people feel like Andrea DeLoney is the one to work with versus the 20 other people who have been doing it for a lot longer than I have. So that was certainly one. And then also, and this is, okay, we gonna be transparent because this is big, I'm on Big Sis's couch right here. My fear is like putting myself so far out there and not having the capacity or the ability to deliver. And, like, I think some people might feel like that is, crazy to hear, but it can be so nerve-wracking when, like, what you do, it's all on your name. It's one 100%. Thing, I do what I do for my jobs, and it's like, oh, well, this company or that company, that's just how they get down, no, so that's why it didn't work. But, like, this is my name. This is my credibility, and it's personally and professionally, right? Like, because we're not, selling a T-shirt to people. Like, we're really changing people's whole trajectory in whatever they're trying to work through in their life. And for me, it's like, it's a constant roller coaster of you are more than qualified. And in the areas where you don't think you're qualified, that's when you're supposed to go harder because that's how God is going to qualify you.
Yes, he does.
Through the doing.
What is it? He doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
Absolutely,
right?
Amen.
And so I love that, and I just got goosebumps too because I felt that, and what I do is I keep a running record throughout the year of things that I've achieved, things that I've accomplished, things. So whenever I start to feel less than or I start to have some doubt, I can roll through from January, February and say, you're that girl. You did this, you did that, and that wasn't easy, and you overcame that. And I literally, in real time, I have to write it down because how that happened was end of the year, New Year, everybody do that little recap.
Yes.
And I was like, how did I do that? Like, what did I do? And I took it a step further because it wasn't just the fun stuff. It was like the work. You know what I'm saying? It was like the courses. It was the work. It was the people I helped. The coaching course, all of that. And so it reminds me, and it's just helpful because we have those thoughts. And like you said, it's Sis Stop Sulkin. It's the brand, Tasha Talks Life. And here I am like humming. No.
Like I'm over here sulking in my corner.
Right. And that's the thing too. Whenever I feel like this, or I'm going through this, I have tools, I have frameworks that I can use. So guess what? I can share that because it's helped me, it's helped her, like finding the proof, right?
Absolutely. So. And it's like, even with social media, right? Like, it's funny because whenever people are like anti-social media or trying to make a case about like how it's not, like, no, social media is 100% an extension of whatever the interest, emotion, feeling, whatever 100%. It is that somebody got going on.
Yep.
And for me, that's why I post often and the content that I post, because I go back. Like, I do scroll through my stuff. When I see Facebook memories or Instagram highlights from a year ago on this day, it's like, wow, I remember what I was feeling. I remember what I was going through. Look at where I'm at today. And like you said, right, like you see a memory or something come up and you're like, dang, I remember that night where I didn't go to sleep till 3 a.m. because I was trying to get this one thing done and I did it, and look at the result. Like, that was my photo. That was my award. That was my whatever the thing was. So I absolutely understand that.
That's
and it's important. Like, you know, we get to pour into ourselves how we pour into other people, and we get to celebrate ourselves. 100%. Like, I tell people all the time at work, particularly when I'm in a session with either one-on-one or when I'm teaching, and I have like early careerists coming into sessions to learn about whatever topic, like brag on yourself, because you can't expect other people to always do it. And it's not about being arrogant, or because you have the results.
Right, that's the thing. Yeah, and I think people don't do that enough, especially dope people that are achieving things, and myself included. Like, my friends will tell me, remember when you did this, remember you did that, you know, and it's like, yeah, I did do that. You told me this and it changed my life. Or somebody will send me a text and you know, I screenshot those, I save those, I save them all.
That's why the memory is full now.
Exactly.
But we have to, like, we really get to do that, because this world will tell us that the exact opposite at any given time. There is not a shortage of someone telling women, telling Black women, telling mothers, telling female entrepreneurs. There is an abundance of people speaking down or discouraging, right? Like, there's a million other, I'm going to put podcasts in air quotes, right? Because there are podcasts that empower and educate, and then there are just like raggedy conversations that are breaking down.
Yeah, it's
and
horrible.
there are just too many of them. So it's important that we are, like, we're able to sustain ourselves from our own cheerleading
100%.
And not have to feel like we need to wait for someone to pat us on the back and tell us job well done.
100%. I love that. And so that's a nice segue to, with all the things that you're doing, ma'am, and fiance. You know,
we work. I'm on my bestest behavior.
I'm putting it out there.
Amen. Listen, I receive it in the name of our Lord and Savior. I receive it.
It is done.
He gonna watch this like, oh really? Love you, babe.
No, I love you, babe. No, with all of those things though, what are you doing for yourself? What is a non-negotiable? Give me two non-negotiables for your self-care, your self-love.
Ooh, okay, so like one non-negotiable for me is reading. And that's like either physical or audiobooks. Like, I read or listen to books more than I watch TV, more than I watch anything on any of the streaming apps. And I just find that it is such a way to, you know, like, escape the day in whatever type of genre I want to escape to.
So are you doing more personal development or like leisure?
Yeah, so both. Okay. So my whole thing is my hard copy books are always development books, and I try to do one at least every other month, if not every month, depending on the book. And then I try to listen to a leisure read, whether it's like mystery or like rom-com or like history or like bios or just everything. Like, I feel like the past 2 years I have just opened up myself to like fantasy reads by Black authors that root fantasy in African culture. Like, it's fire. Like, these genres
you gotta share with me, because I read a lot too, but I'm always in the same, like, it's either
I got you. I'm gonna send you my little Canva graphic that has all the covers.
Please. What are you reading right now?
Ooh, so I just started The Best Man Unfinished Business because it came out today. And it's like the book is the next of the series. So, you know, we had The Best Man 1 and 2 and Best Man Holiday. Then they did the series, and now this book is supposed to be like the final, what brings it all together. So I just started listening to that. And then the other day, I had just finished reading Trust and Inspire Leadership by Stephen Covey. And it's for a leadership program that I'm in through my sorority. But, you know, it was a pretty cool read. You know, I think for me, I love having that balance, because sometimes you're learning something new and different. Sometimes it's helping you to just reset and go back to the basics. So always reading. And then family. Like, So it's funny, people always say like, you always outside, you always on the go, and I'm like, no. How I post makes you think I'm always outside.
And that's what people think. They see a little bit of glimpse and they think it's your life.
They think that I'm like always on the go. I be home. I be inside. You know, I'm like, oh, we outside. No. I'm inside. I'm in the house.
Being inside.
I love my house. Like, I be in the house, hydrated, feet up, watching YouTube vloggers, popping popcorn, chilling.
Yeah, I love it. I do. I'm not gonna lie. This was amazing. This was great. We gotta do something. I want us to do something.
Listen, I feel like the people don't know, cause see, we've been out here developing ourselves. Like we were outside in the city, learning, growing, developing.
Yes.
We just keep it to us, because not everybody needs to know what's going on.
What's up, but we need to cook up something.
We do. And I feel like, from the events that you've done, that I've had the opportunity to experience, and vice versa, the power. Like let me just share this, right? Like I had an event back in February, and you came, and we got to the group coaching portion, and you didn't even know that I was gonna we have coaches in the room. Tasha, please wave. And you were like,
that's me.
Hey. And I
you definitely caught me off guard with that.
And I was like, because I need people to understand that there are some powerful women, there are powerful women. And people don't really know, we always joke about it, you big sis and I'm the little sis, and absolutely, but that is deeply rooted.
Yes,
we go back to when I was in 5th, 6th grade. Our fathers were close.
Yep. My dad coached you.
Your father coached me. Church. I mean, spiritually, we're so deeply connected.
Yeah.
And I find that, how there are just some people who they send you a text, make a phone call, they need you to do something, to help out with something. I can honestly say, you are one of those people where if you call or if you text and you need it, consider it done. Consider it done.
Same,
so all that to say, yes. Coming soon.
Yes, we got to do something for sure.
Coming soon.
Yes,
it's definitely going to happen.
And so before we end,
okay,
I always like to ask, what is one thing or what is something you would tell your younger self?
Ooh. One thing I will tell my younger self. Ooh.
So much, right?
Because listen, it's the lessons. The lessons are flashing.
Right.
What I would tell my younger self. Okay, I got it. Trust God for everything.
That's
for everything.
From the beginning.
Good, bad, indifferent. Trust Him for it all.
And that's real. And that talks to my younger self. That's because if we knew, and that's why I think this is so powerful, and that's why I tell everybody to come on the show, what would you tell your younger self? Because they're watching.
They are.
They're listening. And I'm going to say this, and I said this before, with the work that we do, the self-care, the self-love, all of that stuff, the boundaries, I didn't have a model for that.
Right.
They were hustle culture. They were going for it. And so we are still making it happen, still doing it, but we also know that we got to put ourselves first. We already know we got to rest. We already know that. And so the girls coming behind us is if they tapping in, they're going to be set. Listen. So it's listen, put God first. We're telling you now.
Yes, trust Him for everything. Before making decisions, trust Him in advance. Before even thinking you want to make a big move in your life, trust Him for it. Pray for that clarity. Pray for the discernment. Pray for the resources. Pray for the elimination of all things that are not Him.
And be prepared for that.
And be prepared.
Because the table will shake.
Bring me back for that conversation.
Oh yeah, we gotta do that.
Because see, we talking. See, now I'm comfortable. Now I feel like I need my little mug because we need to have a conversation. Trust God for the removal, right?
Okay, so we're gonna stop it right there because we definitely got it because
that's the event. That's the event.
Yes, because that's power. That's a whole thing in itself, and everybody's not ready for that.
They're not.
So thank you again, little sis.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was so great. I don't even want to stop talking.
Listen, because I got time. Whatever we need to do.
I love this. So already, stay tuned for part 2. You already know part 2 is coming, and so, You want to do icebreaker real quick?
Let's do it.
All right, so
Okay. Listen.
So we're going to play this icebreaker real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to say 2 things, and you're going to pick which one comes first.
Ooh, like a this or that.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early morning or late night?
Late night.
Books or podcast?
Books.
Couples?
Unless it's your podcast.
Okay, good answer.
Books,
Good answer.
but your podcast. Okay.
Couples trip or girls trip?
Ooh, couples trip.
I know that's right. Journaling or voice notes?
Voice notes.
Vision board or digital planner?
Ooh, both. Both.
Yeah.
Can't
Cute heels or comfy sneakers?
Comfy sneakers.
Even though you got the cuties
Even
on
though we
today.
got one today, listen, ball was life. Cute sneakers all day.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Text or phone call?
Phone call.
Brunch date or dinner party?
Dinner party.
Beach day or spa day?
Spa day.
Music playlist or podcast episode?
Music playlist for sure.
I already know this one. Stay in or go out?
We at home. We inside.
Make a list or go with the flow?
Make a list.
Heels off first or bra off first?
Child. What season? Because in this New York heat,
Right. Take it off.
all at the same time. It's one swift motion of the bra and the shoes.
At the same time.
The
That's
same
multi,
time.
right. No, that was fun. Thank you for being a good sport.
Of course. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that concludes this episode. I did not want it to end. I want to thank Andrea so much for coming on the show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Share this. If you heard something that ignited something in you, you want to know more, drop it in the comments. Also, share this with at least 2 or 3 friends. Sharing is caring. Don't keep it all for yourself. I want you to have an amazing rest of the week. Until next episode.